stand and pledge allegiance. Our
Our
Father,
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
give us this
Day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, forever.
pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everybody. We'll start with item D, the approval of minutes. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the minutes shall stand approved from the June 16th, 2025 regular council meeting. Hearing none, those will stand approved. Item E is citizen communication. If anyone is in attendance tonight or online, they would like to address council for anything other than an item that is on the agenda, now would be the time to do so. Also hearing none there. Item F is reports from council committees. F1, the Finance and Budget Committee met on June 23rd, 2025. And Mr. Weaver.
And we would be recommending to the council to approve the second quarter budget adjustments and the 2026 tax budget.
Thank you, sir. The Safety and Human Resources Committee also met on June 23rd, 2025, and discussed e-bike and golf cart issues in park areas. And F3, the Technology Committee did not meet on July 7th, 2025 due to lack of agenda items. Item H is introduction of new ordinances and resolutions. H1 is resolution number 024-25, a resolution adopting the 2026 tax budget for the city of Napoleon, Ohio, as required in sections 5705.28 and 5705.281 of the Ohio Revised Code, and directing the finance director to file the same with the county auditor and declaring an emergency.
Motion.
Thank you, sir. Second. Thank you. Kevin.
Thank you, Council President. We are going to ask for suspension of rules for this as well as the next three ordinances and resolutions. These all stem from the Finance and Budget Committee. The first one is what we call Schedule A, Schedule B. We're required every year by July 20th to submit these copies to the Budget Commission, which is, we turn them into the county auditor. What this is the estimates of the revenues of our property taxes for tax year 2025 payable in 2026. And this is just one of the very first things that we set up for our revenues to move to the budget for 2026.
Thank you, Kevin. Questions from council? If not, can I have a motion?
Motion for suspension?
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll on suspension.
Bobby?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
All right. Any other comments? Marissa, please call the roll on the resolution.
Bobby?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
That will pass on first read under suspension. Emergency. H2 is ordinance number 025-25, an ordinance supplementing the annual appropriation measure, supplement number 2 for the year 2025, and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion? Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Kevin?
Thank you again, Council President. This first one, the supplemental number 2, is actual increases to our budget. So these are when line items that we don't shift fund or line item budgets to another one. We'll get to that one later. This one here is actual increases for various reasons. The reasons are listed underneath there, and it was discussed and approved in the Finance and Budget Committee meeting last week. I will point out there are a couple large numbers here. Fund 435, there's a budget increase of $3.95 million. That's because we created a new fund or renamed an old fund to do this. We felt that the East Washington Street Improvement Project should be captured in its own fund. And so that was quite large, but you see in Fund 521, it equals off to that. The other one is that we did the same thing with the 511 fund as a negative 400,000. That is the water improvements line item where we are going to do the study for the new water line across the river or underneath the river. We felt that that project, if that continued to move forward, could be quite large in expenses and could go on for a few years. So we created and renamed a new fund, which would be the 515 Maumee River Crossing Project Fund. So that there was not budgeted at the beginning of the year because we budgeted in a different fund. If there's any other questions about any of the others, I'll be more than happy to try to explain them. But the others all have explanation with them or not that large.
Thank you, Kevin. Questions or comments from council?
Motion for suspension?
Thank you, sir. Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Tom. Marissa, please call the roll on suspension.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
And please call the roll on the ordinance.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
All right, that is also passed on first read under emergency with suspension. H3 is ordinance number 026-25, an ordinance authorizing the finance director to make appropriation transfers, transfer of appropriation 2, from one appropriation line item to another appropriation line item pursuant to ORC 5705.40 for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, as listed in Exhibit A, and declaring an emergency.
Motion?
Second.
Thank you. Kevin?
So this next one here is when we have budgeted amounts in one line item and we feel that we're not going to use that much, but it's needed in another line item, so we make those adjustments and it becomes a zero-sum game. If you see the totals down at the bottom, it's $119,199. So that's the amount requested and that's the amount received, so it does not increase the budget as a whole. Most of these are relatively minor. I do want to point out the ones from the 100-1500 fund, or line items to 115-20 fund. Back when we were doing budgeting, there was discussion of certain members in the finance department that did not go to certain tuitions of getting certain titles or changes in positions. So when it was budgeted in the finance department, and we moved those back to the utility department where they're getting paid out of. So that's the anomaly of that one, and all the rest of them, I'll answer any questions if anybody has anything, but the explanations are there.
Thank you, Kevin. Anything from council? And is there a motion for suspension?
Motion.
Second?
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll on suspension.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
And please call the roll for the ordinance.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave.
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
All right. That is also passed on first read under suspension with emergency. H4 is resolution number 027-25, a resolution authorizing the finance director to transfer certain fund balances, transfer number 3, from respective funds to other funds pursuant to ORC section 5705.14 on an as-needed basis in fiscal year 2025, as listed in Exhibit A, and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Sorry. Thank you. Kevin?
This is the last one for the Finance and Budget Committee meeting, and if this does get approved, I appreciate it, because this allows to close the books out for the month of June and move forward to the second part of the year. With that being said, what this last one is the actual moving of cash or funds from one fund to another, if this is approved. So the 521 is going to the 435, that's where we created the East Washington Street Improvement Fund, and then the other one is the Maumee River Crossing Fund. So we're taking the money out of the funds that they were budgeted from and putting into those new renamed funds with that.
Thank you, Kevin. Questions from council? Is there a motion for suspension?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll on suspension.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave, Ross,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Anything else from council? Hearing none, Marissa, please call the roll on the resolution.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave, Ross,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
That has also passed on first reading under suspension with emergency. Thank you, Kevin. H5 is resolution number 028-25, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute any and all documents necessary to acquire 1.07 acres of land, more or less, located within the city of Napoleon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Thank you. Lori?
Thank you, Council President. This is the property located downtown, known as the Heller property. I believe this will be a great opportunity for some economic development down the road, though we don't have a plan in place right now. This resolution tonight will just allow us to get started on a purchase agreement.
Thank you, Lori.
Mhm.
Questions or comments? Suspension's requested on this as well, Lori.
Yes.
Is there a motion for suspension?
So moved.
Second?
Marissa, please call the roll on suspension.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave, Ross,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
And please call the roll for the resolution.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave, Ross,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
That is also passed on first reading. We'll move to item I, second reading of ordinances and resolutions. I-1 is resolution number 022-25, a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds in excess of $50,000 for the purpose of purchasing a fire truck for the City of Napoleon Fire Department and to award said purchase to Stutfin Corporation and declaring an emergency. We have a motion.
Motion?
Second.
Thank you. Lori?
I believe Kevin,
I'll take this.
you take this one.
So
You've been
we have
talking.
the master bid list every year of companies that are over $50,000 that we are allowed to spend without having special resolution. This company is not on there, so this company puts that on there. This allows us not to have to bid out the fire truck if we continue to move forward and purchase it. Instead, it would just allow us to go straight to them and purchase, which has somewhat been the plan along the way.
Thank you, Kevin. Questions or comments from council? Hearing none, Marissa, please call the roll.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave, Ross,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Now move to third read. Item I-2 is ordinance number 023-25, an ordinance approving current May 2024 through April 2025 replacement pages to the City of Napoleon codified ordinances. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second. Thank you. Lori?
Thank you, Council President. This is just a second read to approve the replacement pages in response to the semi-annual review.
Easy enough.
Mhm.
Thoughts from council? Hearing none, Marissa, please call the roll.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave, Ross,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Now we'll move to third read. Item J is third reading of ordinances and resolutions. J1 is ordinance number 020-25, an ordinance allowing ODOT to work inside city limits to remove and replace the existing pavement on US 624 from the US 6 interchange to the Maumee River Bridge and repair bridges within the same section and declaring an emergency.
Motion?
Second.
Thank you, Julie. Lori?
All right, thank you again. This is the final read to give all ODOT all that they need to complete the removal and replacement of pavement on the 6 and 24, replacing bridges within that section as well. This is our authorization for them to do the work in the city, and this project is scheduled for September 1st, 2026.
Thank you, Lori. Questions or comments? It's been an easy night so far. Marissa, please call the roll.
Bobby?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave? Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
That'll pass on third read. Item J2 is ordinance number 021-25, an ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of bonds in the maximum principal amount of $650,000 for the purpose of paying the cost of improving the municipal fire facilities by acquiring a pumper fire truck, together with all necessary and related appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency.
Motion?
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Lori?
I'm going to hand this off to Kevin again.
This is the third and final read, and it does have an emergency clause to it. So if this passes tonight, this allows us to receive the bids for the bond of $650,000, which would then be used in the future to purchase said fire truck. I would encourage passage of this. Otherwise, everything we discussed at this point is all for naught, and there might be some sad people in this room. So, any questions?
Thank you, Kevin. All right, third read on the fire truck. Any questions or comments from council? I feel like a broken record, but Chief, I want to thank you for all your time and to your whole team. I appreciate you guys coming to show your support to the department. It means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to Chief, so we just appreciate you being here. With that said, Marissa, please call the roll on the ordinance.
Bobby?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
That'll pass on third read. Congratulations. We will move to item K, the good of the city. K1 is discussion or action. Direct the law director to draft the appropriate legislation to allow the city manager to apply for OPWC Issue 2 funding. Lori.
Thank you. I have City Engineer Chad Loves here to explain that a little bit more.
Yes, each year we apply for funding through the Ohio Public Works Commission, more commonly and generically known as Issue 2 money. This year, we are planning to submit a project to budget this fall. It will be for the replacement of sanitary and water lines on West Clinton, as well as Erie Street, and it will also be a reconstruction of Erie Street. At this time, we do not have an estimate of the project. I received the first submitted plans from the engineering firm late last week. I'll review those this week. But if you pass this, this will allow us to make that application and allow the city manager to sign the final application. Those applications are due approximately the second Friday of September. So we're trying to get ahead of this so we can have it in place by the time it's time to submit the application itself. So,
Thank you, Chad.
yep.
Any questions from council? Can we have a motion to direct the law director?
So moved. Second.
Jinx. All right, Marissa, please call the roll.
Bobby?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Item K2 is discussion or action. Direct the law director to draft legislation pursuant to Napoleon Ordinance 106.04 to contract with Delta Star Inc. for the purchase of a 69-12.47 kV 20-26.7-33.3 MVA three-phase power transformer with LTC.
Lori's gonna explain that to us.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain it right now. The title goes along with the price tag, so this is for the purchase of the transformer needed for the enterprise substation rebuild. This is at a cost of $2.3 million. The current transformer, as you may know, was put in place in 1974. So we have about a 3 to 4 year lead time on this transformer. So this legislation tonight will allow us to get the ball rolling on that, get it ordered, and get this price locked in. Because believe it or not, that's up quite a bit since 2018 when this whole process started. So we'd like to keep that price in place and get the order in.
Thank you, Lori.
Mhm.
Anything from council? Can we have a motion to direct the law director?
So moved.
Marissa, please call the roll.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Thank you again, Lori. Item K3 is discussion or action to accept the 2025-2026 training and equipment grant for the fire department. Lori, you want that one, or Chief?
That'd be great. Thanks.
This is an annual grant that we apply for. We budget every year $5,000 in the budget for this. It's a reimbursement grant, so no changes will be needed made to the budget for this. So now that we received it, we can make those purchases, and then we just have to turn in the receipts for reimbursement. The total is $4,784 or $85.14.
Thank you, Chief. Can we have a motion to accept the grant, please?
So moved.
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave, Ross,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
Thanks again, Chief. Item K4 is discussion or action, update on pool and golf course storage building bids. Lori.
All right, this, we received one bid on June 25th for the golf and pool storage building, and thankfully Chad Mills showed up tonight, so you can explain a little bit more about the project and what happened.
Yes, in the budget, Tony had, and I apologize on behalf of Tony, he's on vacation, I told him I'd come tonight. During the budget process, he had budgeted for this building out near the pool facility. He and Andy went back and forth several times, they established a budget, they went back and forth with a couple different builders, got a budget established, the size of the building, all the specs. We opened those bids and we did not receive anything within the budgeted amount, nor within 10% of the engineer's estimate. Because we did receive the bid, that bid will have to be rejected by council by motion. Tony's going to look at what his options are. The simplest way to put it is 3 options are, he can request to have the budget increased, he can come to council and with a budget increase request, he can lessen the size of the building, or he can scrap the project. So at this time, he's going to put it on hold, and per his memo he submitted to council, he's looking at possibly doing a little bit of both, possibly changing the size of the building slightly and bringing an adjusted budget figure to the 2026 budget when we start that this fall. But at this time, I would request a motion by council to reject all bids, since we did not receive any within 10% of the engineer's estimate.
Thank you, Chad.
Yep.
Any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do we know why, I know Tony's not here, so I don't mean to put you on the spot, Chad, but if you know the answer, why there's such a discrepancy in the estimated amount?
I know what we were told. I don't know. When we worked through this process, we worked with various builders in the area to get pricing and a ballpark number. We never asked for an exact number, we asked for ballpark numbers. We explained to them that with this being a city project, prevailing wage would be required. Not all builders pay prevailing wage on every job, but because of the size of the project for the municipality, prevailing wage is required. One of the local builders informed us he was partnering with another building company, and the day before the bid, they realized they had not included prevailing wage in the prices they had discussed, not only with him prior, but also with the city. So that's what we were told, even though we have documentation that states Yes, we included prevailing wage in our estimates when we did our budget in the fall. So I don't know where the miscommunication came in, but that's the only feedback we've received, is that it was a prevailing wage issue.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Anything else? Okay, can I have a motion to reject the bid, please?
Second.
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Bobby,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dr. Dave, Ross,
Yes.
Ken.
Yes.
All right. We'll go around the table. Kevin, can I start with you this evening?
Sure. I just want to follow up with what I talked about last time, House Bill 335, which was the elimination of the inside millage, which would have taken place for the city of Napoleon as well as all other cities. And a wonderful article by the Northwest Signal following that. Just an update, what I could give you on that. First of all, the budget for the state has passed, and there was nothing in the budget bill that stated about eliminating property taxes at this time, or inside millage. The possible constitutional amendment that they were trying to get signature for to be on the November ballot did not get enough signatures because that was to also eliminate property taxes. However, what I read is that may come back and be retried in 2026. And then the third thing that I've read or heard is that House Bill 335 is sort of dead in the water. It's got not a lot of support, so they don't anticipate that to move forward. But I would just say as a word of caution, I think that it would not be a bad idea for the city of Napoleon to look at other revenue sources because, you know, it could happen eventually for that. But as for now, we're pretty safe. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Kevin. Tom?
Nothing, thank you.
Dr. D? Mr. Mayor?
A couple things. Just trying to give a thank you to all of our city workers for their hard work this weekend for all the events that took place. I mean, we had one of the best holiday weekends I can remember for 4th of July, and there were people out and about enjoying everything that we offer. While we were all having fun, a lot of them were working, so thank you all for that. Another thing I want to bring up, and our HR director sent Ross and I a message today about our golf course was evaluated by a group of golfers who played 9-hole courses in like Northwest Ohio, and actually all of Ohio. And a lot of them came from like the Cleveland area, and all the comments that we're hearing from them, it's very encouraging to hear that how much they love our golf course compared to others that they play. Just reading some of the notes here, they're saying how well the staff took care of them when they went into the clubhouse, all the way to how challenging the golf course was, how fun it is. They had a lot of compliments for our superintendent, Tom Schwab, who's done an amazing job for our golf course. Some of the notes even saying here, I know this is a bit further than they're used to playing, but they definitely want our course to be played again next year with their group. So I just wanted to express my gratitude to all them. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hayes?
Excellent fireworks show last night compared to most of the shows around the area. I think we should make sure they know that a good thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mr. Watson?
Nothing.
Mr. Maloney?
Nothing to report.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Lord?
Right, first I would like to ask Chairman Weitzel if we could add a discussion of the state championship signs to the municipal properties meeting. I think that was something that came up with Andy previously. And I've been approached by some citizens that are still wondering what's going on with that, so.
Yes.
Right, thank you. I'd just like to piggyback on what the mayor said about not just the 4th of July, but just all of the cooperation that I've seen in the past 2 months or so in this position. Cops and Bobbers was really a fantastic day with our PD there, and our fire department was there. many others. It's a very big event, and unfortunately it was kind of hot and maybe kept some of the kids away, but the ones that were there were having a good time and catching some fish, so. And also the whole 4th of July weekend and all of the departments that were part of that and helped make it so successful. It looked really beautiful. And I can just say, from a personal standpoint, got several kids that live out of the state, and on their group text, they said that they believe that Napoleon probably has the best fireworks in the country. They're on their small, small resource across the entire country, so that's all I have.
Thank you, Lori. Well, the mayor stole all my thunder, so
Sorry, man.
I'm good. We'll move to item M, approve payment of bills. In the absence of any objections or corrections, the payment of bills shall stand approved.
Smart
All right, I'm hearing none. They stand approved. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Thank you. Marissa, please call the roll.
Bobby?
Yes?
Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Dave? Ross?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.